all right, Don, Jim Ratcliffe, billionaire. There's some people out there who simply view football through the lens of let's spend money, and
Fans, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think media as well. We buy into the narrative, right? Oh, look, Newcastle are owned by, the Saudi sovereign wealth fund. Oh, are they going to go and they're going to sign Mbappe, whatever, like it. But ultimately, I mean, well, you happen to be a Newcastle fan, but what do you, I get the sense, at least in England, at least those fans who are just fans of their club, especially match-going fans.
Yeah.
I think the majority of them, they want to win trophies, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's a big club.
Of course.
But they basically want somebody who invests in the club. Mm-hmm. If there's profits, reinvests those profits.
Fans are not bothered about profits.
Yeah. Well, they don't want
Couldn't care less.
But they don't want the club to go bust.
No,
right?
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Is, right? Yeah. They don't want somebody that if the club is profitable, as United have been a lot, takes that money and says, oh, look, I did such a good job making the club profitable. Yeah. Let me get the little slice for me. But no, I mean, that's basically what the Glazer family's done.
Exactly.
Those dividends. Which, in another business, we wouldn't have an issue with.
But they left the stadium to go to ruin, didn't really invest in the team. So all of that is in the conversation. It's in the pot.
Exactly. So Ratcliffe, who is in his 70s, right, has other interests in sports, we kind of assume he's not going to be like that, right? Because he's so rich.
I'd like to think so.
I want to, Jim, don't take it personally, he's probably not going to live another 50 years.
I don't want to do
that. But
he's not even bought a club yet, and you put him in the ground.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Is you buy a club at this age, because you want to enjoy yourself, you want to make it meaningful, and you want to leave a legacy.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
You're not doing it. Ratcliffe's not doing this because he wants to make another billion for himself, right?
No, he wants to enjoy what he's got.
Right. Whereas the Glazers is basically what you call a family office. There's obviously after Malcolm passed away, they're running a business. 7, I think is it like 6 brothers and 1 sister or whatever. Sister Darcy, by the way. Okay. A friend of mine knows her. That's different. Some of those guys don't care about football. Yeah. It is a family business is running sports clubs, right? So that's what they do. So it's a different outlook. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, this is all good, right?
Absolutely. Man United fan as well. Always pulls on the heartstrings, doesn't it? Yeah. Local man, made good, pumping his money into a club. Good on him. I think in the time that if he does take over and the time that he's got on this planet, Gab, and hopefully it's a long time, he's going to enjoy himself. And what Man United fans will lean on is the job that the owners have done at Man City, where they've made a beautiful stadium. They've invested in the area. You go around, that part of Manchester, it's a whole lot better than it was before the owners then took over. Then you've got investment into world-class players, top managers. And then as a fan, I think as a Man United fan, you can look at it and go, well, we're on the right path. We're going in the right direction. We've got a great manager. Stadium needs funds. It needs to be better, whether they knock it down and build another one or they just, make Old Trafford better. And then everything that comes with that, as a player, as a fan, when your team goes in the transfer market, you're not going to get blown out the water. If you're in for the big players, Man United are going to be in the conversation for the players to be at the top table and the very best players. That gives you hope as a fan.
To be fair on that point, if I were wearing my Glazer hat, I would say, okay, well, we've spent more than $1 billion on transfers. We have
But they put the club $1 billion in debt, haven't they?
And
Old Trafford's shambles.
They still spent the money, right?
I know.
No, but if you're talking about transfers missing out on players.
But it's the full package, isn't it? It's reinvesting in the stadium.
I agree. But as far as spending on players, I don't know to what degree you can fault. You can say they bought the wrong players, which I think is undoubtedly true, and they made stupid moves. Yeah. But it's not like they've been stingy all these years with the players necessarily. They have spent money. I don't think they spent it very well. Yeah. I think they would.
It is a funny one because whatever you say about Man United, you can say, well, some of the managerial appointments were terrible, but then they had people like Jose Mourinho. They had Van Gaal. They've had good managers, and then the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, then the Ralf Rangnick debacle was just an all-time low. So this now, while they've got Ten Hag and potential new investors, has to be an amazing thing for a Man United fan to grab onto.
Talk about managers. Let's talk about this manager, Erik Ten Hag.
Like him?
Well, so I'll hold my hand up. I was skeptical, not because it's him, but because I thought it was going to take a very long time when he came over. Obviously, having Cristiano there, not because Cristiano's bad, but because Cristiano doesn't fit that type of football that he played at Ajax. I mean, by my Ten Hag theory around you, at least what we see on the pitch. Off the pitch, too, I think
That's the most important thing.
He's been really good. But on the pitch, I thought he came here with an idea of football, which he played at Ajax, which is what got him the title. He realized that this group of players is not built for that.
Exactly.
That teaching the players that style of football is going to take a long time.
If you want to play a pressing style of football, you can't get Christian Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes to play a pressing style of football. So you put them in positions in the short term where they're going to get you wins, they're going to be effective, and the style might not be what Ten Hag wants in a year's time, but the players that you've got they've got playing the correct football, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I think it's been a process in getting there. I also think if you play that brand of football, the brand of football, I think, suits teams that are very talented or teams that are low budget, because it is.
I think they're a work in progress, aren't they, though?
Sorry?
Man United are a work in progress.
No, I agree with you. I'm just talking about the
as in the players.
No, I'm talking about the pressing football. If I can just take this idea for a second, right?
Yeah.
That
people love pressing football. People love the word pressing football. It's like it's just been reinvented in the last 5 years. Liverpool were doing it in the 70s and the 80s. Everyone's been doing it. It's just another word. Pressing. Let's play a game. What does pressing mean? Closing down. Intensity, another buzzword. Running around. Low block, defending deep. They're all just new words.
It's true. But what I'm saying is the type of high possession, high press football that he played at Ajax.
Yeah.
Right. It was. I'm not saying he's the only one who did it, but
it's impressive.
It was fairly distinct, right? They're very proactive. Why don't we use the word proactive, right? Okay. Let's try to play in the opponent's half. Yeah. Let's play with a high line. Let's tell our strikers, rather than come a little bit further back and like stiffen up the midfield, win the ball there. Let's try to win the ball high up the pitch, right? That's what I'm talking about. He gives a very broad definition.
Okay.
I would argue that type of football works best either at teams where you've got very good players as well, who have quality with quantity, like Manchester City being an obvious example, or it works at teams with small budgets. I'm thinking Brentford, for example, where you don't have those players because it is a high risk, high reward.
So you put more emphasis, if you're Brentford, on running, chasing, closing down. Yeah. Then the skill factor comes in.
You're going to give up a bunch of stupid goals if you press and play that way.
Yeah.
Right? You just know it's going to happen. And that's fine if you're Brentford because you get 3 points per win, right? Yeah. So if I get 5 wins and 7 defeats, hey, guess what? I have 15 points in 12 games. I'm not going to get relegated. If then I could raise my game, as Thomas Frank has shown that they can do, then I go a little bit further, maybe even a challenge for Europe, right? When you're Manchester United or Liverpool or Manchester City or Barcelona, Real Madrid, if you play that type of football and you give up too many of those stupid goals, you have too many of those, oh, look, we're chasing them up, then you get people calling you naive, then you start losing to teams further down the table. So it's harder to do. And I think he realized that when he arrived. He realized that Manchester United, while they have a very expensive squad and a high wage bill, they're not where City and Liverpool were at the end of last season, right?
The first couple of losses would have been a massive eye-opener.
Exactly. So we've seen a somewhat, I don't want to say conservative in a negative way, but he says, you know what? I don't need to get these guys to press.
Why do I want to get Eriksen and Bruno to chase everyone all over the pitch?
Precisely.
Use your football intelligence.
So when I was at Ajax, and I had by far the best squad in the league, or one of the two best squads in the league, and I had 65% possession and the other team sat back, hey, that's fine. I'm playing in my opponent's half the whole game. Yeah. Here, I'm not, because there's a lot of good teams in the Premier League. Yeah. And so when I go play Man City, I'll play Casemiro with Fred. Yeah. 2 holding midfielders.
Which is smart management.
And so you've
got to play and use, I think, the tools that you've got.
I think that's an absolute credit to Ten Hag this season.
And also, that's on the pitch. I think off the pitch, when he come in, he won a massive battle with Ronaldo. He won a huge chess match with him. Then he had the little drop in Rashford scenario for being late. All these small and big wins, big win against Ronaldo, small win against Rashford, all that leads into a dressing room, a younger dressing room, Garnacho's, Ante Elanga's, etc., will all follow the boss because he's got authority and they can't cross him. And if they do cross him, out.
So one of the other things, Bruno Fernandes came out and he said, we're a team now. We weren't a team before. And then
anyone else now went, oh, that's good. But Bruno, the most selfish midfield player you've ever seen in your life.
Leaving that to one side, a lot of people said, oh, look, he's talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. Then he got really angry and says, no, I was not talking about Cristiano, blah, blah, blah.
Is this before or after he chucked Garnacho under the bus? When he said he was a terrible trainer in pre-season?
I don't think you'd enjoy playing with a teammate like Bruno, would you?
Do you know what? He's one of them players, Gab. He's one of them players where if you're playing against him, you can't stand him. The moaning, the diving. If you're playing with him, you want him on your side because you know he's going to ruffle everyone. And he's talented, I've got to say. No,
he's talented. He's got that. He's got those guts. He's got that edge. I think people like him.
Yeah.
For me, just the quintessential Bruno Fernandes moment was, if you remember the City game, where the goal that he scored, right? And if you see the assistant flags, now
Darren can.
It's his job to flag.
Yeah.
If you want to argue that the goal should stand because obviously we're not going to reopen that whole thing, that's fine. He still has to flag. He still has to flag because he's flagging Rashford offside, and then it's up to the referee to decide whether he's interfering with play or not.
And the VAR guys,
and the VAR guys and whatever. But I just thought that was so extraordinary.
He's got no credit out of this, Bruno. Is he?
I was like, dude, chill out. There's a referee, there's a VAR. They're going to decide.
But Bruno's come away scoring in the Manchester derby with sort of no credit whatsoever because of all the VAR and the offside debacle.
And Bruno, of course, scored again last night, so we can give him credit for that one. I know you like your percentages.
Oh, go on then.
So I'm going to give you two.
Oof.
Percentage chance that Manchester United finish top four, bearing in mind, I think Spurs are 6 points back, something like that.
Yeah. I think Arsenal and City will be clear.
No. I just need to know about.
I know. I'm trying to do the man maths in the head. The cogs are turning. I think there's a strong 60% chance they will.
60% chance. I'm going to go higher than that. I'm going to go well into the 90s. I think.
Wow.
To finish top four.
Yeah.
With a gap and. I think it's United.
I trust your man maths over mine.
No. United to win the Premier League?
Oh, no.
5%.
Yeah.
That's interesting. City?
Well, let's give them. I'll tell you what. Let's go.
Because if you give United 5, I'm curious how much you give City.
No. It's just because I'm terrible at man maths.
Yeah, clearly. No. Because obviously you subtract it from 100.
Well, no. As I sit here now.
If you give City 15%, you're saying there's a 1 in 5 chance Arsenal throw it away.
As I sit here now, I'd give Arsenal 50. I'd give City 35 and Man U 15. There you go.
Arsenal 50% chance.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'd go higher. I'd go 65.
Yeah, that starts getting my man maths in the world of trouble. 65.
There you go.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.